The history of waffles can be traced back to the Middle Ages when they were made from a batter of flour, milk, and eggs. The first waffle iron was invented in the 15th century and was used to make waffles that were then served with honey and spices. Waffles became popular in America during the 18th century and were usually served with syrup or molasses. Today, there are many different types of waffles including Belgian, Liege, and American-style waffles. The waffle is a breakfast dish that has been around for centuries. The earliest known waffle recipe dates back to the 14th century, and it is believed that the dish originated in Belgium. Waffles are made by cooking batter on a hot griddle or waffle iron. The finished product is typically a light, fluffy cake with a crisp exterior. Waffles were originally eaten plain, but today they are often served with fruit, syrup, or whipped cream. They can also be savory and are sometimes topped with cheese or bacon. No matter how you enjoy them, there's no denying that waffles are delicious. So who invented this iconic breakfast food? Unfortunately, we don't know for sure. The first recorded mention of waffles comes from a cookbook published in 1390. But the author does not give any specific details about the dish. It's possible that waffles were being made long before this time, but we just don't have any written records to prove it. What we do know is that Belgian monks were making something called oublies in the 13th century. These were thin cakes made of flour, milk, and eggs which were cooked on hot stones. It's possible that oublies evolved into modern-day waffles over time. Alternatively, it's possible that both dishes developed independently from a common ancestor, perhaps another type of pancakes or flatbread. Either way, we can be thankful to whoever invented waffles. They've given us a delicious treat to enjoy for breakfast or any time. Where did waffle originate? The Belgian waffle, also known as the Brussels waffle, is a type of waffle that originated in, you guessed it, Belgium. These delectable treats are made with a light and airy yeast-raised batter and are usually served dusted with powdered sugar. They're the perfect snack or dessert for any time of day. But where did this delicious treat come from? The first recorded mention of the Belgian waffle dates back to 1839 when a Belgian cookbook included a recipe for gaufres à la bruxelloise. It's thought that the popularity of waffles in Belgium can be traced back even further though, to the Middle Ages. At that time, there was a popular street food made by pressing thin pancakes between two metal plates. It's likely that these earliest waffles were the inspiration for the Belgian waffle as we know it today. So next time you're enjoying a delicious Belgian waffle, take a moment to think about its humble beginnings. And if you're ever in Brussels, be sure to try one of these iconic treats. When were waffles invented? The history of waffles is a long and storied one, dating all the way back to the Middle Ages. It is believed that waffles were first invented in the Low Countries, modern-day Belgium and the Netherlands, sometime in the 13th century. At that time, they were known as oublies and were made with a batter of eggs, flour, milk, and butter. These early waffles were quite thin and more like pancakes than what we think of as waffles today. It wasn't until the 16th century that waffles began to be made with leavened dough, which made them puffier and more like the waffles we know today. It was also around this time that honey or sugar began to be added to the batter for sweetness. Waffles became quite popular in Europe during the 17th and 18th centuries, especially among royalty. Queen Anne of England was said to be particularly fond of them. Waffle irons first came onto the scene in the late 18th century, making it possible for people to make waffles at home. The designs of these early irons were quite rudimentary, but they paved the way for modern-day machines. Waffle irons became increasingly popular throughout Europe and America in the 19th century as they became more affordable and widespread. Today, there are countless variations on the classic waffle recipe, from savory versions stuffed with cheese or topped with bacon, to sweet ones smothered in syrup or fruit toppings. No matter how you enjoy them, there's no doubt that waffles are here to stay. How did waffle get its name? According to one food historian, the word waffle first appeared in English in 1725. It is thought to be a corruption of the Dutch word wafel, which itself probably comes from the Middle Dutch word wafely, meaning honeycomb or cake. The earliest known reference to waffles in America is in Benjamin Franklin's Poor Richard's Almanac for 1744, where he includes a recipe for waffles made of oatmeal and butter. The grid-shaped pattern of a waffle iron may also be responsible for the name. Some say it resembles a wagon wheel, while others believe it looks like a bee's honeycomb. Whatever the origin of the name, there's no doubt that waffles are delicious.